Ever feel like you're doing all the right things, the routines, the practices, even the venting, and still feel off? Yeah, us too. This week on the Empowered Embodied Show, we're sitting down and talking what it means to feel fucked up. Yep, that's the word I mean. And what to do when your rhythm goes missing. We talk about the difference between routine and rhythm, why feeling off doesn't mean you're broken, how to move through those foggy, depleted, or disconnected seasons, and the soulful experiments that can help you come back to yourself. This isn't a fix-it-fast conversation. It's an honest, embodied exploration of what it means to be a whole human in a very noisy world. So if your week has been more chaos than flow, this one's for you. Hi there. Welcome to the Empowered and Embodied Show. I'm Kim Romain.
And I'm Louise Neil. We're two transformational coaches who are also fellow travelers on the path of growth and self-discovery. And we're inviting you along for the ride.
That's right. We're right here in the trenches with you, navigating the ups and downs of life. And each week we'll be sharing our own experiences, bringing you conversations with amazing guests, and exploring insights and strategies that have helped us find more clarity, confidence, and ease in our lives.
And trust us, we do not have it all figured out. We're learning and growing right alongside you.
So if you're ready to rise above the chaos, doubt, and confusion that sometimes life throws our way,
and step into a more empowered and embodied version of yourself,
then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. I am one of your co-hosts, Kim Romain, joined as always by my lovely co-host.
That's me. I'm Louise. Thanks for being here as we giggle our way into our introduction today.
Always laughing. I have the saying, if I'm sitting in the corner laughing and I'm seem to be having a good time, just leave me be. Like I am having a good time. Do not worry about my sanity. I am fine.
You're right. Yeah. Yes. It was funny because you were saying like, let's hit it, like, let's go. And I'm like, we were just talking about hitting it with a beverage in hand. Not that we have a beverage today, but a little.
Well, we have beverages. They just don't have the G in with the T.
Yeah, that's right. What's a one word you would use to describe your week so far?
Bugged up. I made it one word.
Left out a few vowels. Yeah.
Yeah. Bugged up. Yeah. How about you?
I'm feeling some frenzy, maybe a little bit. Ooh, can I make up a word? It's like frenzy and yet still like electrifying, but in a good way, right? Like there's like that place where we can get sometimes where it's like seems really big, but I'm really excited, but it seems really big and I don't know. And it's like this constant like big and coming back and big and coming back to myself all week. And that's kind of the energy that I'm in today.
That's pretty human experience that you're having, right? Because we very often will like go out and have whatever big thing is happening. It can be a big emotion. It can be excitement. It can be learning. It can be whatever. We go out and then we bring it back in and then we integrate it. And then we go out and we have that thing and then we bring it in and then we integrate it.
Yeah. Yeah. And as an introvert myself, like I know like there's these big things, right? These big moments, these big places that I put myself because it's a little scary and a little fun. And yet as an introvert, I'm like, ooh, like I do have to like come back to myself. I do have to like ground in who I am in that moment. Not that I'm being fake when I'm that other part of me, but there's just this different energy exchange. And I've been feeling that in a way this week where it's not necessarily like I'm out with other people that I find energy draining. It's just like where my attention is going it sometimes can feel a little bit draining, and I need to bring it back to myself so that I can feel a little more grounded and a little bit more myself, I guess.
So that word you just used, draining, that's how I feel drained this week. And it's not, I mean, a lot of it is just how I set up my week, and it's exhausting. It's just really hard on me energetically. The things that I'm doing in the moment that I'm doing them feel really good. Fantastic conversations, lovely humans, exciting things that I'm thinking about. And it's like, ooh, yeah, that's juicy. Ooh, let's see how that can start to move forward. But I haven't had the space to do anything with that because it's all coming in, and it feels like a fire hose. And so you take what's happening with work, and it's like, okay, don't have time to process this. Just going to try and gulp it down as much as I can and just grab as much as I can and pray what comes back later is good, because I trust it will. And then it's all the other pieces and parts of life that will not bad per se, like nothing life altering horrible, thank God. And yet it keeps adding up and adding up. And so when it already feels like things are really loud and frenetic in a way, and I'm depleted, the rest of it just feels fogged up. It's just like, I just can't. I don't feel like I can get my feet under me this week. And I'm doing all the stuff that I know to do, right? I'm doing the somatic practices. I'm venting where I need to vent. I'm processing where I need to process. I'm right creating space where I can create space, canceling the appointments that I know that I can cancel, or rescheduling them. And yet it is still like I just feel so depleted. And I don't think it's just this week. I like that's one of the conversations I was having with my husband last night, night before that. I don't even know, like time evasive. Was this place of what would help me not feel so depleted? Is it just this week? Is it something more systemic? Is it something that's going on? And one of the things that I realized was I really don't have any routine, and I haven't for quite some time.
Ooh.
And I used to love the idea of not having routine. And what I actually know about myself now is I need routine. And it's actually in my design it is what grounds me.
Mm.
It is what gives me the space to do the work that I'm here to do in the world and be the person I'm meant to be. But yeah, I think that's part of it, is not just not having that right now.
Yeah. I've actually read some research around like resilience through routine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fascinating to think about, as we get so bombarded with, what is it, like 40,000 decisions we make in a day and like all of this stuff. And then we have new things coming at us and where we can feel wobbly and that we can't grab a hold of it, right? Either in our work, in our business, in our life, in general right now, right? The news is constantly throwing us off kilter on an hourly basis sometimes. And like through routine and through just this knowledge that our body has that, ooh, we're gonna be doing, right? Whew, we're going for a walk. We're going for, right, having a break. We're going to brush our teeth. We have a nighttime routine. Like all of these things just allow our nervous system to say, oh, I already know, I automatically know what's going to happen for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. I don't have to think about it. And it can start to reset that energy and reground ourselves just through routine.
Well, it's interesting because I still have my nighttime and morning routine to a certain, I have like a list of things I can do. I swap them up from time to time. I'm still doing those things. It's what's happening between them that is so it's just so fucked up. It's it's just how it feels right now. It is, and it's been how I've been operating for almost a year now, maybe longer, where even though I have these bookends to my day, my weeks they don't have a rhythm. So I feel like I'm in a different month than I am now because it all looks and feels the same. So one would say, well, that's routine, but it's not. It's like my routine is no routine. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen today. And it's hard to plan. It's not really, that's not truth. I said that and I'm like, that's not truth. I plan all the time. And I want to, it's less routine. It's more rhythm. I want a rhythm. And I don't feel like I have a rhythm. Does that make sense?
I think so. Like to you, what does rhythm, like, how does it feel? Like, how do you know you have rhythm versus routine?
Well, I think it goes to kind of what you were saying with the nervous system, right? My routine is to support my nervous system. And it does, right? God help the world if I was not doing all the work that I'm already doing. My lovely family would have kicked me out by now. Rhythm to me feels cyclical. It feels almost like there's some ritual to it, like, or could have ritual to it. It feels like a heartbeat. It feels more connected than routine, which is again odd because, right, my routine does include very spiritual aspects to it. And yet there's another level that seems to be missing. And so does that in terms of rhythm versus routine, does that make sense?
Well, I think when you say the word rhythm, I think of like a band, right?
Uh-huh.
Like
Yep.
there's a rhythm to a song, right? Like there's a rhythm, and the rhythm gives us some predictability a little bit, right? The rhythm itself doesn't have to be predictable, but we can hear it. Like we almost like know what's going to come because of what came before. We start to really get into a bit of a flow when we have rhythm. And we could be doing things for the very first time and have rhythm. And we could be doing things for the millionth time and have rhythm. But as you were talking, I kind of like started to like feel like, ooh, like what is that underlying like beat or that underlying musical score that just helps move along or move forward? Is that what it feels like to you? Is like
Yeah,
a little bit
that's
like
what's
that?
missing. That's what's missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my routine or my practices are definitely soul filling, definitely supportive. Um, they they're things that I enjoy. They're things that if I don't do, I miss, right? Those kinds of things. The rhythm that feels like is missing is that current, is that thing that creates momentum. And yeah, it definitely feels very different. And that's what I'm definitely craving. Right? It's how do I find that rhythm? It's not about creating a daily routine. It's not about,
Ah.
right? It is about creating rhythm in my life, in my work, in how I show up in the world. It's about creating or finding, could be finding, unearthing what that rhythm is. And it's so interesting because I am so connected to my body that one would think that I could feel it. And I don't. And I think that's why I crave it. That's why I'm feeling so depleted is I don't feel that current going through me right now.
Have you felt it in the past?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what it feels like when you've got the rhythm.
Yeah. I've had tastes of it over the past year. Like it comes back in, I go, oh, I can breathe. I can move. Like I feel, right? Like this little undulation, this movement. And then it disappears again. Yeah. Yeah.
So finding it, connecting to it, and then like figuring out how to like keep it around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Or where to go look for it if I don't have it, right? If we're missing it, where do we go to find it?
Mm.
Where do we go to locate it? Maybe it's a new rhythm. Maybe, right? Maybe I need to go sit near some water and listen, and maybe it's that rhythm. I don't know. But I know even in the like the change of the seasons hasn't even felt like that rhythm to me. And that I know for sure in the past, seasonal changes, connecting with the earth, connecting, with nature, that has definitely helped. It hasn't this time. So I don't know what we were talking before about the cacophony of noise in the world. And I was sharing, right, just even getting through a week, it feels really loud, like this really loud fire hose coming towards me. That loudness could be why I'm not able to hear it, is what's just coming through to me.
Yeah. And I think too, like the world itself, right? Being loud and us being unable to grab a hold, right, of that rhythm or that piece that feels like we're missing. And people might have other words for it, right? But it's, when you have it, like things go well, right? Like all the stars seem to align, right? And things get, there's an ease to it, right? And there's a flow, and there's that rhythm, right? That underlying like predictability of it, of that grounding that you can rely on. And I think too, like even when I think about the seasons, totally unpredictable this year, right? Like 4 seasons happen in 3 days around here.
Quite literally. Yeah.
I went from mitts and toque to, right, sunbathing in 3 days.
Yeah.
And so those things that used to create or help us create that rhythm, right? It's almost like we need instruments a little bit to be able to play out that rhythm. And seasonality changes can be that, right? Cyclical moon cycles can help us with that rhythm. And so lots of things in nature and in the stars can help us be those instruments. But yeah, when shit gets loud, like it gets really hard to hear the instruments. It's like, that grade 5 band that everyone's played and you can't
Totally different song.
and you can't make out anything. Like there's no rhythm, it's just noise.
Which is so interesting because as you've been talking about rhythm and instruments, and even the symphony earlier, I was thinking jazz. And a lot of people don't like jazz because they can't find the rhythm. They're like, it's just noise. And there is some jazz that that I'm like, yeah, sure. I can't find it either. And yet there's a lot of jazz that it's like the rhythm changes all the time. That's part of what I like about that type of jazz. It's like you're in a groove, and then all of a sudden it's a little disconcerting at first, and then oh no, now you find the new groove, and then you're in that for a while, and then it's just right. I like that. It's exciting to be in a piece of music like that. And then there's those times where you're like, the fuck are you playing? I don't even I can't find it. I don't know where it is. And yeah, it just feels loud. It's just really loud. And I know I was in a group earlier this week and we were talking about a bunch of different things, but one of the things that came through was how loud the world feels. Just feels loud. So what do we do with that?
That's
I
a
mean, for
great
those
question.
that like may not even have a clue what I'm talking about right now, which is that's cool. Right? It's that place of, another way I could describe it would be being really foggy. Like you can't find, here's a visual. You can't find the path in front of you because the fog is so thick. Like, you know, you're on a path and you're still walking, but you're walking really slowly because you don't know when the path is going to turn or end, or you don't know when you're going to bump into a car or a cyclist or another person. So if I was going to put in a visual instead of a visceral, that's what I would put it in.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You know, during perimenopause and menopause, right? Brain fog itself feels a lot like that. It feels like there's just something, there's something just on the other side of the mist. Like you know it, and yet you can't describe it. You can't feel it. You can't share it. Like there's no language for it. You know it's there. But it's so foggy, like the fog is so dense, but you can't even rely on your own senses, right, to be able to help you through that.
It's like having COVID.
It is. Yeah.
Except for it just doesn't let up. Yeah, and I mean, who knows? This absolutely could be hormonal as well.
Could be.
Right? It absolutely could be. I mean, I'm not going to put it past anything at this point. And I think that's the curious part, is when we're feeling disconnected, when we're feeling not ourselves, when things feel fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
nothing really is bad or wrong. It just feels fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do we start to, I know what I'm doing, but like, let's unpack this a little bit. What do we do when things feel that way?
Well, I know what I do. That feeling of like disconnection. First of all, there has to be a recognition of that you're disconnected. So we're going through life at 100 kilometers an hour all the time.
Unless you're me on the highway the other day.
I know, and we're going really fast. We've got all kinds of things going on, and so we can often think that this feeling of disconnection, like we dismiss it so quickly. I don't have time. Like, sure, whatever. I don't have time. I have all of these other things to do. I don't have time for any of that. Let's just push through. Right. And when we can slow down for a moment and actually say, hey, I'm kind of disconnected from myself. And the reason why I know that is because I don't feel like myself. That's all it is. I couldn't describe it to you. I couldn't say like, this is what disconnection feels like. What it feels like is I'm not myself. And in that recognition, I can say, ooh, like, okay, and then I asked myself, what routines or what places am I my whole self, right? What are those places? And can I use those places and spaces to be able to reconnect with myself? And for me, it's often lately, it's walking that little dog of mine. Like she just, like the world melts away. And her and I are we're up to 40 minutes now. And so, yeah, I know, right? Like, she's little. Well, and I'm old. And so,
I'm older than you, so careful.
no, but like with some of my mobility issues, right? It used to be a 15-minute walk was about all we could do. And so here we are up to 40 minutes. And I just feel like the world, like all of those things, they just wait for me at the door. I take nothing. I don't take my phone. I don't listen to podcasts. It's just me and the dog, walking around the neighborhood or down a river path. And I start to feel reconnected because of two things. First of all, I'm outside. I know that about myself. When I'm my whole self, I'm outside. And so I go to that place where I know my whole self lives. And just being in that space, not trying to connect. See my air quotes? I don't need to connect to anything. I don't need to like sit there and like ponder the life of this tree or try to connect with this blade of grass. I just need to be in the space that produces oxygen. That's how I feel about that. And it's the rhythm of my footsteps that I can feel it in my body. I can hear the gravel, right, crunching under my runners, but I can feel it with every step. And to me, that those two things bring me a little bit back to myself, where now I can see that I don't feel so disconnected. But I'm also okay with, like, I've had to learn to say, like, I'm okay with feeling disconnected for a little while. I don't have to figure it out right now. And I don't have to, I'm not worried about it. I don't want to have anxiety about feeling disconnected, because disconnection, like, right? People talk who are deeply depressed feel a disconnection to themselves. And I don't want to have anxiety about how I'm feeling. And so I'm okay. I'm okay that I feel a little bit not myself right now, but I know how to get back to myself, or I know how to try to get back to myself. And I'm going to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, if all of those things don't work, then let's have a conversation, right? Let's have a conversation with a mental health professional, um, because it's something that doesn't go away. But right now in my life, I am okay with that because I know how to at least try to reconnect with myself and see where that goes.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I will say that what I've been experiencing over the past year, there have been moments where there's been some low level depression that has snuck in. And this is coming from somebody who has dealt with clinical depression. So I understand what that
Mm-hmm.
feels like in my body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right. If you don't know what that feels like in your body, please do see a mental health professional who can help you understand what's happening for you. And I know that ener- this feels energetic, not emotional. So like I can feel the buildup of the frustration or the sadness, or like, I mean, I can feel the emotion underneath, but the emotion is quickly released. And what is left is this residue of energy. And the energy is not just mine. And I think that's the other thing that I noticed. I'm releasing the fuck out of whatever is mine. Like, I'm really good at that. The other stuff that I'm holding doesn't feel like mine and it's not stuck. It's just really foggy. I'm going to go back to that word. It's like this bubble of fog that keeps following me around. And I can get, like, the sun will come out and I can get rid of it and I can find my way and I can reconnect with myself and I can do all those things. And then that bubble of fog comes back in. And I'm like, not my fog. You don't really need to follow me. Okay, but here you are. For me, it definitely is movement, and movement is huge for like, and it's different kinds of movement. Sometimes it's going for a walk. A lot of times it's dance. Sometimes it is just what I call primal movement, which is just literally just letting my body do whatever it's going to do, and I'm not going to give it a name because I don't know what it is. It's movement, it's vocalization, it's allowing sounds to come from usually from my mouth. I don't know where else those sounds would come from, but like allowing sounds to come through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like words or primal screams or anything like that, although those are fine too. It is that place of just releasing sound, releasing energy. And so that energetic movement, moving my body, moving my sound, moving my energy around is huge. Nature is also huge, right? Because that can help me just in a lot of ways. I mean, just very often just putting my face in sun if I can find a patch of sun to put my face into, that does a world of good. To bring myself back to self. And to find that place of, sometimes it's grounding, but usually it's just connection. It's more about the connection and less about the grounding. I can also do it through visualization. That can be really helpful for me as well. And yeah, I think finding what tools work for us, because I know when I work with clients, it's not, I'll give a suggestion sometimes, like, have you tried, or shall we try, right? Here's something. And it may not land. It may not be right for them. And that's okay, because at least we're opening a door to find something that does. And that experimentation. And that's kind of with this recognition that I think I've been able to put a name on, of this rhythm that I'm feeling that I don't have. Okay, great. Now let's experiment with what that could look like. Is that I need to do something with my schedule? Is that I need to do something, right, with, I don't know what it is. But where can I play with creating rhythm? And where can I collect or invite rhythm in, right? Is it sound from something? Is it music? Is it nature? Whatever that is. Is it hearing a heartbeat?
Right.
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, first there's an awareness, right? That we have to know that something's off. We have to slow down enough to notice. And then the other side of it is like, what are we moving towards? Right? Like whatever that is for each person, however it feels or however it manifests in your body or in your life, what is it that you're moving towards? Because if we don't have those things, then it gets really hard to even experiment with anything. Because how do you know if it's successful if you don't know what you're going for? And to get really clear on what that is, I hear, like, I don't know, 10 times a week, these words like enough, right? Like, I'm not doing enough, or I will know I'm done when I've done enough. And it's like, whew, no, you won't, because it's never enough, right? These words are so ambiguous. These feelings sometimes are so fleeting. We don't take enough time to really understand what is it that we're moving towards. Right. And that's the barometer that helps us move from where we are to where we want to be.
That place of movement, where are we going, has also been a conversation lately inside my containers, because the question that comes up is, do I have to have a destination? Do I have to be going somewhere, or is it enough to just be? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I think for me, it is the being can be a destination, right? Where are we going? I am going to a place, like I am getting myself to a place where I can just be. So I think that's how I would answer that. But I would love to have hear from you in terms of like, what does it mean to always, do we always have to be in motion?
You know what we're talking about though, like we're not, you and I started at this conversation of saying like, I'm in a place I don't want to be. Like what was your word?
Bugged up.
Right. Things are, I don't want to be in that place.
No.
Right. And so like, this is what we started talking about around like movement and going from where we are to where we want to be. Absolutely. If you're fine being where you are, you don't have to fucking move anywhere. Like nobody says that. But if you're feeling like you're in a place where you don't want to be, don't stay there. Right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important point, though, because very often people hear, right, where are you headed? What's your goal? What's the direction? Where do you want to, right, all this stuff. And it's like, when you're feeling like I was talking about at the beginning of this episode, it's like, I don't go anywhere. I want to not feel this.
Sure.
Right? I don't want to be responsible for any more shit. I don't want to feel this. And that still is changing something.
That's still movement.
It's still movement.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the cool thing about what we're talking about, right? Like what we're talking about is like you define what you're moving. You define the needle. You define what's important, right? And if it feels fucking fantastic where you are, stay there, please. If it
Don't feel
doesn't,
guilty about it.
and don't, right? You've defined it, like own it. If it's feeling like you're in a mucky, foggy place and you don't know, like, okay, let's figure out how to get out of there, right? And that's the movement that you need. It's not movement of like, how am I moving through my business, or how am I moving the numbers in my bank account, or how am I moving up the scale, or up the ladder, or up whatever. Those are, that's the external, right, measurements that are being imposed on us by our systems. What we're talking about is like, no, you define it. You define where it is you are. You define where it is you want to be. And now you start to experiment on how to get out of that place you don't want to be.
I think back to when I was either practicing law or even in the nonprofit sector, and I think about days where I felt like this, or like times, extended periods of times where I felt like this. And it was so hard to get up and get to work and do the things and to push through. And I was so not motivated or connected to the work that I was doing, but I did it. I showed up and I did it. And the interesting thing now is I'm still showing up. I'm showing up for my business. I'm showing up for my clients. And I also am, it's really easy to be like, and that conversation is done. So I'm disconnecting and I'm going to either go lay down, or I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go, like, I've created something where I don't feel like I constantly have to abide by that systemic pressure to continue moving, quote unquote, forward. I don't have to be performative about anything, which, like, that feels really good to be able to say, yeah, this has been a fucked up week. I don't feel myself, and this has been sticking around for a long time. And again, not purely consistently, but it has definitely been the flavor of the year. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm now at a place where I feel like I can do something about it. I also hadn't had the ability to even really, like, I was aware of it, but I hadn't really wanted to do anything about it yet, because I'm like, I just got to get through. There's just a lot going on. I just got to get through. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what, from this conversation, from listening to what I'm sharing and then thinking about kind of your own process and what your clients go through, what are some of the things that you're taking away that you really find important about this conversation?
Well, so I loved your word rhythm, right? And really thinking about how rhythm plays an important part in my days, my weeks, my time, and what could that bring if I looked at that a little bit differently? Like what could it look like if I did bring some more rhythm into my day, right? Like all kinds of rhythm, right? Music, or I don't know. I don't know what other thing else that has rhythm, but chanting, I could chant. There's things that have rhythm. And to experiment a little bit with that, to see if there's something there that's kind of sticky, like sticky in a good way, right? What can make it stick to me, so that maybe there's a little more ease or flow into that. But for me, there's a little bit of a predictability that I need in that rhythm. I'm not a jazz lover for that reason.
Mhm.
right? I like to know what's coming. I can listen to the same song like on repeat, and I find it fascinating because I just know exactly what's coming. I know the words, I know every right musical note in that song. And I haven't done that for a while. I haven't really like had that going on in my life to see if I can connect to it a little bit differently. So that's what I'm taking away. And it's about experimenting, right? And finding these things, these tools to see if they work for me.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think I need a little more jazz in my life.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the music that I've been listening to recently, and it's fantastic music. Some of it's power music, some of it's soothing music. So right, it's different things, but it's predictable. And
Ah.
I think what's while I want a rhythm with the unpredictability of so many other aspects of my life, I feel like then let's match a rhythm to that. Like let's
Ooh.
find the
I
rhythm
see.
within the unpredictability. And so maybe listening to some jazz and helping myself regulate to the unpredictability of the music might help me find that a little bit more in what's happening in my life. It's worth an experiment anyway.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, and that's just the thing, right? Like, we talk every week with guests or with ourselves, and we have these ideas, these thoughts, these suggestions, these some of them are best practices because we've been doing this for a really long time. And and so we bring these ideas forward and make them your own. Like, right? It like this is meant to be a conversation. And so in a conversation, like what are you contributing, right? Dear listener, what are you doing? What are you trying? And it's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. It's it's like what are you curious about? How do you follow that curiosity? And what are you noticing?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And who are you having this conversation with? When you're feeling disconnected, when you're feeling like you have a fucked up week, when you're feeling like, "Ugh, I can't hear another noise, who are you having this conversation with? Because it's important that you're having this conversation. And I'm grateful. Thank you, Louise, for having it with me today, as always.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. We look forward to talking to you more next week. Louise, do you want to give a little snippet of something that's coming up in your world?
I do. So I was just working on this today, so it's like it's fairly timely. Um, Over on the Substack, I know you and I have been exploring a little bit that platform, and I'm starting to love it. Just a place where I'm building community there. I've got a lot of great resources that are coming out and hitting that. Um, and I've rebranded a little bit, and I have the rag hitting newsstands here today, actually. It's just a soft launch, so don't worry about it. You haven't missed anything, listener. But go over and check it out on Substack, and I'll put the link in there. Check out the rag.
Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. And yeah, I'm gonna pitch my own Substack here, and just say, if you're interested in how the transits, particularly human design transits, are affecting not just us personally and individually, but the collective, what is that energy that we're all experiencing? And what does it really mean? And because I don't talk about it, I try not to talk about it from like a technical standpoint. I may mention the gates just so you can have some connection to what that is, but it's really through storytelling and narrative that I want you to understand, that I want the reader to understand, and be able to reflect for themselves how energy might be impacting them. So come check that out over on the Alchemy of Ease.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for your time today. I appreciate you.
Always. Same.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, listener, and we will talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye for now. And that's all for this week's episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. We hope today's episode has sparked something within you. Remember, we're all on this journey together. If something did resonate with you today, why not share it with a friend who might need to hear it too? You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review. Your feedback not only helps others find the show, but also helps us understand what's most valuable to you. Until next time, be kind to yourself, stay curious, and remember, we're walking right alongside you. Thanks for being part of our community.